Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is good, bad, and ugly. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using posts from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. Now, I wrote them a while ago, so if I encounter anything that is out of date, I will give you the most recent information, and at the end, I will summarize the topic based on what's going on in the world today. Also, I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. Good, bad, and ugly. Earlier this week, I was considering the topic for this week's blog post. I first considered talking about money, then different levels of non-physical entities, and then playfully considered the end of the world, but I'll save that for next Friday. However, the news of today's school shooting in Connecticut has swept these topics aside. I don't read these before I start recording, by the way. I turned off the television when they started interviewing 8-year-olds who were there, and after the guest psychologist told how to protect your children from repeated news as they don't understand it was just one incident being replayed over and over again. I decided my mother, who has Alzheimer's, didn't need to be continually surprised and shocked by it either. My heart is aching for those parents of kindergartners. I am still reeling from the news that it was a teacher's own son who did it. My mind is going in a million different directions on how to address this. I mean, people die every day. People die alone, by themselves. People die in groups. People die who are 104, and people die as infants. An entire school of children and their families are profoundly traumatized by this morning's events. And all around the world, there are traumatizing events happening at any moment. There are wars, there are cyclones, there are epidemics, and there are earthquakes. I've spent the last 20 months trying to keep my mother's dementia from advancing, and the last 12 slowing the progress of her cancers. It's been as successful as halting a rising tide with your bare hands. Someday it feels like you're living in a nightmare, but a nightmare is just another kind of dream. Here's what I know to be true. My mother is an infinite being who will be just as real to me when her body is no longer here. She's designed a very creative way to go, as her Alzheimer's prevents her from fully comprehending she has cancer. What makes it less traumatic than the school shooting is that it's been going on for a long time. We've had time to adjust. What makes this less tragic is my mother is 86, not 5 or 6. This is what I know. Every single one of us is an infinite being. Every single one of us is bigger than our bodies and the stories going on in our lives. The part of me that is aching for the parents is the part of me that is a parent. The part of me that is reeling is that I'm a mother of sons. These are just some of the threads of my connections that extend out into this world and reverberate whenever something happens on this planet. Our bodies and personalities feel the vibration of pain and fear. Our bodies aren't going to make it out of this lifetime alive. They take death very seriously. What I also know is that death is joyful to the ones who have died. When we die, we realize that we are infinite. It is blissful and ecstatic. There is no good or bad as spirit. When you die, it's totally ecstatic. It's all good. You don't care who got the house or how you were killed. You are thrilled. People with near-death experiences all report not wanting to return. If we all knew how great it was, would we all commit suicide? No, because it would change how we live here. Being here would become a more enjoyable experience. We'd take it less seriously. We'd have more fun. Just because there's no ethics of spirit doesn't mean there's no ethics in the body. In the body, there are definitely guidelines for interacting. In physical form, there are boundaries. There's emotional and physical space. If we keep our focus to within our own space and the definitions of our own lives, it would be a lot more fun for everyone. You wouldn't go on a killing rampage because you'd never get angry or depressed. You wouldn't need to take away someone else's life. Even though life is a full immersion video game, it's not played by being disconnected from others, nor from your body's feelings. If you're striving for spirituality by depriving yourself, you've missed the point. If you're trying to be unattached by being detached, you're still playing a mind game. When you fully inhabit your body, you feel things deeply, but it takes on a different meaning as you are experiencing it from your own infiniteness. Your body feels immense grief when losing someone dear, and yet you, as consciousness, still feel them with you. When this lifetime is done and you leave your body, you, as consciousness, experience no loss. You are instantly reconnected with everything. You dive into the ocean of expansiveness. It is thrillingly blissful. My wish for you is that you remember your magnificence. May you bring it into your body, that it radiates throughout your whole life. I wish you the warmth of your inner light, that it illuminates the darkness, that you see and sense the connection with all the other lights there. In so doing, may you and all things around you experience much comfort and joy. And if you have any thoughts or experiences about this, please leave a comment below. I love to read your comments. So I did write this almost 12 years ago. And it's shocking and astounding how frequent mass shootings have become. I couldn't imagine being a parent of young children in the United States today and having to take them to school where they have active shooter drills. It's absolute insanity. And hopefully we're at a tipping point where legislation can be created that can be reversed. But it's hard, it's tough, because as consciousness, we create all of our experiences in this life. But I suspect we're creating all these experiences in our life, or we're setting up the rough outline of what we want to do and enact in this lifetime, but we're doing it from before we have a body, so we don't have the body's emotional reaction to it. And once we get in the body, it's like, this is really painful. We're in a really exciting time at this moment where there's a huge shift in consciousness. We're undergoing an astounding evolution as humanity, and it's really exciting to see what's coming up. And my point with all of my videos is just to remind you that you are a consciousness. You are an infinite, expansive consciousness. And when you navigate your life that way, it just becomes a lot easier. So if you like these videos, please share them with your family and friends and on your social media. And please click like and follow and subscribe. And that way you're telling the algorithm to share this far and wide and get this out to someone who really needs to see this information. And if you want a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the skybox technique. It'll give you a drone's eye perspective, which is like the perspective of consciousness of what's going on in your life and in your world today. And if you want some manifestation techniques, click on the link below to Manifesting Money and Miracles. It's my self-study course, but you will learn how to energetically create changes from within that reflect on a complete transformation of your external reality. And if you want a personal session with me, click on the link below to private sessions. They're 30 or 60 minutes long, and I take a look at the essence of who you are and what's going on in your life today. And then I can answer any questions that you might have, whether it's about relationships, about your job, about what's coming up in the future. I can also talk to deceased loved ones, and it's all recorded just for you. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. And if you'd like to learn how to do this for yourself, that is, navigate your life as consciousness with the help of some of my consciousness techniques, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great preparation for my coaching special, where I work with you one-on-one and give you specifically chosen consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.